5 o'clock. Happy New Year. If you're just tuning in, we appreciate you on Idaho Sports Talk, Prater, and the Ballgame Double Tap Pub Hotline, 208-424-9300. Call and tell us where your confidence is, what your confidence is in Boise State football coach Spencer Danielson. As we turn the page, the first program we've done on IST in 2024. What type of year is this going to be for Boise State football? And your confidence level of the head coach might be a big part of it. 208-424-9300. Go ahead and give us a call. Bob Beeler in for Mike Prater today. Prater back tomorrow. Bob, appreciate you filling in. And confidence level, Spencer Danielson. I'll start this off by asking you what yours is.
Bullish. I'm very bullish on Spencer Danielson. I'll start with retention. Basically, the only player that has gone in the portal that has left is Talon Green. So I think he's got a great handle on what he has in the fold already. And the fact that virtually everybody has stayed, I think is good there. Recruiting. He kept the entire recruiting class that was committed. Gatlin Bear, I'm going to not count because he wasn't going to even come for 2 years anyway. And then he added somebody. Sire Gaines was committed. Arizona State flipped him at the last minute, so you got a +1 there. I feel the momentum from the finish of the season was a positive. I know we didn't win the UCLA game, but if you look at having to play with a quarterback that hadn't thrown a pass all season, I think Boise State was obviously behind the 8 ball to start. I like the schedule. I know Oregon's going to be very good. You saw what they did to Liberty. I think that's going to be a real tough game. Don't think Washington State and Oregon State are going to be as good as they've been the past few years.
I'll agree with
because, Pac-2 people are leaving, especially Oregon State. So I don't think the non-conference schedule is going to be as difficult as it was last year. Not to say that they won't have good teams, but I don't think they'll be great. I have no idea what Georgia Southern is going to do. I just have a vibe that when you have a Mountain West team, you look at all the different teams in the Mountain West, many of them have changed coaches. Is the trend going up or is the trend going down? I think Spencer Danielson is on trend going up. I think Air Force and Fresno State, depending on what happens with Tedford, are kind of the same. I think UNLV is still going up a little bit, although they did lose their quarterback in the portal this weekend.
Maeva, gone.
I like Choate, so Nevada probably is going to be better, but they've been at the bottom of the league. So for Nevada to head in the wrong, for me to say that Nevada is worse because they made a coaching change, you can't.
I don't think you can do that,
they're not.
Bobby.
They're going in the other direction. I don't know what Hawaii has to offer. New Mexico's got a new coach. I mentioned Air Force, I think, is sort of flat. I think San Jose State is sort of flat. Have no idea what the new coaches at Wyoming and San Diego State are going to do. I like where Boise State is sitting for a lot of reasons.
All right, let's get to Brian. He's up on the Double Tap Pub hotline. Brian, welcome to Idaho Sports Talk. Point blank, Big Bry. What is your confidence level in Spencer Danielson, your head football coach at Boise State?
Well, it's not so much confidence in Spencer Danielson or anything. If you look at it, what's happening, Boise State is going to be an incubator. You get a kid in here, he has a good year, and when the SEC or some of these other are just going to steal them. So it's kind of, I see football trending in one way. Your Boise State glory, it doesn't matter if it's Spencer or Avalos or what have you. You got the haves and the have-nots. You got super conferences and then the junior varsity.
I'm hearing you. So you don't have any confidence in this program right now, and that's totally okay, Brian. You're saying it has nothing to do with Spencer personally, but where Boise State is in the current landscape, you can't have confidence in any group of 5 program. Kind of what you're saying. Is that correct, Brian?
Well, no, I'll share with you. My godson, he plays at USC, and I know what they offer to their athletes and what have you. And we don't have, as a state, we want to win, but our NIL, some of our large corporates are not stepping up. We're at a disadvantage. We cannot compete and pay what we need to get some of the skilled players. So I see kids coming to BSU, San Jose State, what have you. They have a good year, and someone say, hey, we'll give you $500,000 in a car. Okay, see you later.
Yeah, but you can't just get another kid for Boise State. I mean, you just get another player and coach him up, and then maybe he will leave too. And look, it's not like all of a sudden now that we got this new NIL and transfer portal, damn it, Boise State's not getting kids, and USC is now. Boise State never got kids over USC. I mean, that's no change whatsoever. I ask you again, Brian, so you're saying you have no confidence moving forward in this program?
I don't have confidence in the system. I think our program will develop tremendous athletes. Someone else will fill them with a better offer, and it's very sad and unfortunate.
I appreciate that call. There's Brian there. Bob, he's just saying, hey, that's doom and gloom. That is the rain cloud that is covering Boise State. Maybe he's right. I mean, Boise State was never getting kids that USC wanted anyway. That wasn't happening. But he's saying, now you get a good player, and they're just gonna get gone. Ashton Genty's here.
Right. Only one.
Who else left?
McAllister left and Green left, and that's it. And those are two very good players, which is too bad that they left. I think you have to look at coaches pretty much in context with the league they're in. And I like Boise State's whole position as compared to other people in this conference in the Mountain West. Are you going to match Georgia up with Michigan? You're going to match Boise State up with Michigan? Are you going to match Boise State up with Texas?
I didn't then, and I won't now.
No. The money's not the same.
Where's Randy on the Double Tap Pub hotline? He's next up. Randy, we're asking for your confidence in Spencer Danielson in 2024 with this football program. What do you have, Randy?
Well, I'm hoping for the very best. I mean, I love the program. The fans are awesome. Bronco Nation is incredible.
You like Bob Beeler?
But it's all about money. Isn't it, Bob? It's all about money. Aye. And that's going to be very,
and
very
that lessens your confidence in Spencer Danielson, the fact that where Boise sits with money, Randy?
It lessens my confidence in whoever is leading the program. It is what it is. Those people have millions and millions of dollars that they're going to go buy players. They're going to buy them from us. Like I think Bob was saying, they're going to come show up here, do real well after they got overlooked by somebody else, and then they're going to see, we got $1 million for you, dude. Come on over here. Now you can come to our program.
How many players, Randy, college football, there's 9,000 kids who play FBS Division I football, and 133 teams with 100 kids each, 13,000.
Yes.
Randy, how many of those kids do you think are going to make $1 million a year? Just give it to me. 100? 500? 50? How many of these kids are making $1 million a year? Because everybody keeps calling. They keep telling me Boise State's going to have all these players ravaged, and everyone's going to give them $1 million, like they're handing out $1 million checks at the airport.
I'm going 1,000.
He's going to say 1,000.
Going to play for Ohio State, Alabama, Texas, and those teams. They're all going to change it around. They're going to say, we don't want to play you guys no more. We're going to play each other. It's going to be two giant conferences, the Big Ten and the SEC, which, by the way, I don't watch any of those teams.
Appreciate you, Randy. Good call. Good stuff. Bob, your thoughts on this. So he says 1,000 players, 1/13 of it, 1,000 players are going to be millionaires in college football. There is no stinking way. Alabama's not going to be able to have a roster of 40 kids who are all millionaires. They won't have that much.
What was the number that Ryan Day said that they needed?
It was 13 million, right? Was it 20 million? Was it 30 million to operate an Ohio State salary cap? That's pay 100 people. I don't know. Let's get to Shane. He's holding on the Double Tap Pub hotline. Shane, you're up. What you got?
I think I'm going to answer your actual question here, Johnny, and I'm pretty confident in our coach and his ability to coach these kids up, no matter if they're 1 or 2 year guys or whether they stick around and become 3 or 4 year guys. I think what we saw at the end of this last year and the way those kids rallied around each other and specifically him as their head coach gives me a lot of positive feelings going into this next year and into the future. And unlike the doom and gloom of your previous two callers, yes, we're going to lose some kids because that's the landscape of college football today. But as long as we continue to go out and recruit our butts off and get the OKGs that we tout ourselves about getting, we're going to see from time to time the Ashton Genties of the world stick at home and play for Spencer Danielson because we believed in him and them when nobody else would. And that's good enough for me. I am super excited about this program. I have been for years and years, obviously, but the way they've handled this Genty thing this year, and I mean, they did it just right. And Genty is truly OKG.
Hell yeah.
And I'm excited about it.
That's a great call. Appreciate you, Shane Dog. Bob, I want your comments on this play-by-play broadcaster. You're fully affiliated with BSU. You know it. We know. We all know it. You love Boise State football. It's a passion of yours. What goes through your head when you see these, when you hear these calls and the confidence level you have in Coach SD?
But that's not the question. The question that some of these guys are raising is, are they going to leave to go play for somebody else? You're probably going to lose a couple people a year just based on the money that some of these schools have, and a lot of them are throwing things at players under the table and getting them, to try to consider leaving before the end of the season. So they're basically jumping the gun on that. But one of the things for Genty looks like he's headed to the pros eventually. He's really looked good.
Yep.
If you've got a coach you like, and your end goal is to play in the pros, not your end goal is to make more money, make $20,000 more somewhere else than here. You want to play for somebody that's going to use you the right way and develop you. He sees how they used him this year, and it paid off. You go to somebody else, you don't know how they're going to use you.
Totally. And the money might be nice, but if the position and the situation and the gig isn't where you want it to be, then, and I'm hearing stories where a lot of the kids get these NIL deals and then they don't get the money because it's so cheap. There's really no precedent. So it's like, well, who's supposed to pay this kid? Well, no one wants to pay him. He's on campus. We're trying to get out of it now. Like, you hear a bunch of stories.
And don't always believe everything you hear either.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Brian, you're next up. Double Tap Pub Hotline. Brian, we're talking 2024. Here we are. Your confidence in Boise State football coach Spencer Danielson as he begins his first full season, Brian, of being a head football coach here in Boise.
Yeah, thanks for taking my call. Maybe I'm a Pollyanna, but I am supremely confident in Coach Danielson this year and probably at least for the next many years based on the culture he's built. When you guys are talking about, kids getting lured by money, I have worked with a lot of nonprofits in my career. I've also worked with credit unions versus banks.
Yeah.
We had an expression called working on the credit union discount. And what that meant is you're willing to take a 20 or 30% salary cut because you believe in what you're doing. Nonprofits, they employ millions of people across the country. It's the exact same thing. You might be getting half or less than half of what you're getting somewhere else. What you want when you're recruiting for those people, and it's the same thing with Boise State, you don't need people to work for free. You just need them to really want to be there, and that's the OKG kind of approach. And that's what I think we got with Genty. Maybe he could have gotten, he's an NFL running back. Like right now, I think he could do well in the NFL.
For sure.
He could have gotten $500,000 or more somewhere else, but he's working on the blue turf discount. He took a good payday and he's staying because he believes in what we have. And I think it'll shake out. We'll get those guys. And those are the guys we need. Those are the guys who have always done well. And those are the guys we've won with. We don't always need the 5-star $1 million guys. We need the 2-star, 3-star guys that develop into 5 stars and they, love the system and love the coaches that get them there.
And you agree too, Brian, like Bob said, 2 or 3 kids are going to leave every year. I mean, it's just like if you're in business, they'll say, hey, you'll take an 18% loss every year just on theft and stuff will just disappear in retail. I remember hearing those stats. it happens. Like for radio sales, our salespeople, they tell people in radio sales every year, you're going to lose 20% of your business every single year. So you got to make that up and you go get new clients. And that's kind of what they're learning in college football. Great call, Brian. I appreciate it. Your thoughts on the CFP and the semifinals, your emotions, Washington versus Michigan. And if you think you can fix the college football postseason like me and Bob were talking about last hour, give us a call. Tell us what your plan would be. 208-424-9300. Bob's in for Prater, Idaho Sports Talk, KTIK, The Ticket.
From the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Studios, this is Ticket Traffic.